Retired MP Jan SIMONSEN used to be a member of the right-wing Progressive Party. In this interview, he talks about his feelings towards Palestinians and the Israelis. Jan SIMONSEN, welcome to Norway today.
Thank you.
I said in my intro I talked about the Islamic influence in Norwegian policy at the moment. I understand that your party, the Progressive Party, for many years ago, talked about this danger. Could you, and I believe that you were one of the people that talked about it, could you comment a little on what is happening today?
Yes, it has been much worse the latest years, not only in Norway, but basically also in the whole of Europe. Because the situation is now that the part of the population which are Muslims are larger and larger. And among those Muslims living in different countries in Europe, they are more and more radicalized, especially the young people, especially among young boys. And they're living in their own societies outside outside the big cities. For example, in Malmö in Sweden. In Malmö in Sweden, there's 25% Muslims now. They have more children than the Christian population, so they will take over the country sooner or later, maybe 50 years from now, but sooner or later they will be in the majority. And many of those people now living in their own societies. Also in Denmark, in some cities, outside Paris, different cities, also in London, there are large part of the cities where there are only Muslims living. They are radicalized by the imams in the mosques. And more of those people, especially young, are in favor of Sharia laws. They are in favor of stoning young girls which have sex before marriage. They want to kill gay people. This is and they support terrorism. For example, in Denmark there was an opinion poll some years ago that shows that around 20% of young Danish boys was in favor of terrorists in the Middle East. 20%, only 1% of the ethnic Danes, but 20% of the young Muslim boys. So, of course, still the majority of the Muslims are nice and moderates, but a larger and larger number of the Muslims have radical opinions which you couldn't hear from anybody in Europe just 20-30 years ago.
But what can one do? Should one encourage Norwegians to get more children in order to become...
It will not work. We have tried, the politician has tried, they're giving a lot of money to people who have children, but this money is mostly used by the Muslims. So I think it is impossible, because this has to do with culture. Yeah.
We cannot change it. Sit down and see that these things happen and not do anything about it.
Yeah, it's difficult to say what we can do. First of all, it is definitely necessary with a very strong and restrictive immigration politics. This is number one, because we cannot take in more Muslims from outside Europe. But that will not be enough, because those Muslims will have more children and Christian and anyway be in the majority. So I have a solution, but this is maybe not popular among all these people in Norway which are against immigration. But I want to have more people from Eastern Europe coming to Norway to stay and be Norwegian citizens, because they have the same culture as us. They are Christians. The Polish people, for example, good Catholics, they will make no problems and they will integrate. And it has been open for workers from Eastern Europe now in Norway for 20 years, and we have only 2.3% unemployment. So it will not make a big problem for us. And that can balance this population from the Muslims. But something we have to do, and also we have to integrate these Muslims as best we can, which is really dangerous if they have a majority in some part of the cities and stick together. This is a dangerous situation. So we should try to avoid that situation, but it has happened already. It's too late in many cities in Europe.
But you can't force the people to do things that they don't want to do. So.
Exactly, you cannot say to those people, you cannot live in this part of the city, go to another part because live together with more Norwegians. But we can treat them nice, because I have maybe some supporters, some people which also are against this immigration politics now, which are too liberal. And they saying to me, we don't like the Muslims, so we behave them bad. Yeah, we behave bad. We treat them bad. This is the wrong solution. The right solution is to treat them good, to be friends at the working places, to be friends at the school, so that they can be used to cooperate with us. I think this is the only thing. Be nice to the immigrants. 2, no more immigrants. We have enough. 3, maybe open for more immigrants and give more Norwegian citizenship to Christian people from Eastern Europe. This is my solution. I have nothing better. But we are in the whole Europe up in a very big problem.
So the politicians that you knew from before and perhaps also know now, they are not responsible enough to do what you are saying. Is it difficult to find a consensus when it comes to your suggestion?
I think still we have to open immigrant politics. Look at the asylum seekers. Only very few of them are in danger if you send them home. There are refugees in Norway from Bosnia. The war in Bosnia is finished many years ago. So when they come into Norway as refugees, because war and problems in their countries, okay, they can stay for a while, but when it's peace, they should go back and help their own country to be better, yeah, to build it up again. But instead, they're living now in Norway as Norwegian citizens. So, and also, the basic thinking for refugees and asylum seekers is you can stay if you are personally in danger in your country because you have been in opposition to the government, yes? But in only very, very few, maybe 2-3% I will guess, but this is a guess of course, the asylum seekers are in that position. Their position is that they don't like to live in their own country because it's sort of war situation. And even the coming asylum seekers to Norway from Iraq, Iraq has been a democracy for many years since the American invasion. Of course they should go back to Iraq immediately. So we are too liberal in immigration politics, but still it's not enough to save us from being a Muslim country.
But now we are being faced with another problem in the Middle East, where war between Israel and the Hamas is very imminent. Well, it probably have started. What is your opinion about what is happening in the Middle East?
Well, since 2005, Israel took all the Israeli citizens out of Gaza. So it's not longer occupied by Israel. They did this to make peace. And instead, the Hamas took over the charge in Gaza and started to send rockets from the places where there were living Israelis before. And from 2005 until 2009, they have sent 7,000 rockets into Israel. And those rockets are not meant for military purpose. They are meant to scare and to kill and to hurt Israeli citizens. 7,000 rockets. And then Israel has to act and go to this last war in Gaza. They destroyed some of the rockets and go back because the international society was too angry. Yeah? What happened? Again, Hamas built up. And now Hamas has more dangerous weapons, more long-distance rockets coming from Iran, Hezbollah, through Egypt, through the tunnels into Gaza. This is a really dangerous and impossible situation for Israel to live with. Just this year there has come more than 800 rockets. So Israel has to defend themselves. They have the right to defend themselves with all means, and they're doing it in a very humanitarian way.
I just wonder, should Israel occupy the whole of the country now?
They should take out all the rockets this time and not stop. Doesn't matter what
they should occupy Gaza again.
They cannot have their troops for a long time inside Gaza, but they should try to destroy as many rockets as possible and then throwing back. And I hope this is finished long time before Christmas, because Israel needs this too.
Jan, you was also very active in pro-Israeli organizations before, and I believe also today, Israel for Peace,
yes,
among others.
All my life.
Or your life. So your opinion about the situation could be a little biased when it comes to Israel, but
yes, of course it is.
have you any sympathy at all for the Palestinians? When it comes to, for example, settlements, Israeli settlements, that is...
Okay, since all my years in the parliament of Norway, I send 1/3 of my salary to a Palestinian family to help them with food and to build up their buildings in Ramallah. When I go to Israel next time, in a few months, I will stay with this family in their house. So, because everybody are human beings, Palestinian and Israelis, Israeli Jews and Israeli Arabs. They are human beings. They are, first of all, they want peace. And we should help them to get this peace. But then we have to get rid of Hamas and those extremists.
Should one also try to get rid of certain members of the Israeli political elite?
Well, Israel is a democracy. The Palestinian areas are hardly a democracy. So the Israeli, they have good politicians basically, but of course some extremists also inside Israel. But I think they have a very good government now and a very good prime minister.
Okay, Jan SIMONSEN. Well, thank you very much for coming to our radio station and our net page.
Thank you.
And I wish you luck.
Thank you for having me. I hear they say in English.
You're going back to Prague. I believe you have got a flat there. You are staying probably most of the time.
Yeah, for this Christmas I will stay in Prague. I sometimes stay in Israel in Christmas this year in Prague, and then I go to Israel for a while after that. No matter if it's war or not.
Okay. Thank you.